All right, new business. Mr. Brunel is here to help us out with questions on, we talked about our website last week or last meeting and updating it, so he's got some information for us.
Yeah. Let's see. So you reached out. I guess I'm not sure what's going on with the current website. I think Colleen was the primary editor of that.
Yeah, I know she felt it was kind of limited as to what she could update with it, and it's kind of,
I think it's just kind of limited.
It's kind of limited. It's a real static site. There's nothing there for it. So we would like to do something and promote a lot more of what's going on in the town.
So the town, we started out on that same platform originally. You guys came on, I think, maybe probably 2 years after we were on that platform. We migrated off that platform 3 years ago. So we moved from what was called Squarespace to a platform called WordPress. And I'm going to show the town site just because I try to import some of your stuff from the old site. Didn't import very well, so it's not going to show very well. But
Okay.
the nice thing about this is that this site is based on everything sort of blocks, and it can have multiple authors. I don't know who would be the ones that would be updating the pages, but there's a lot of dynamic content too that can be developed, right? So they have the notions of these side widgets, and these widgets would be things like upcoming events, which is driven, in our case, it's driven off our Google Calendar, driven off your Google Calendar. So someone puts something in the Google Calendar, it shows up on that sidebar as an event. You don't have to have the full calendar like we have there. We still have it because people have always seen it. They want it. It's not really needed anymore. So these are live links to what's going on the calendar. And then, the town, the police department, the fire department, when we post stuff, we also broadcast it on social media. So we broadcast it to the town page. We broadcast it to our Twitter page. All that's done automatically. We publish a document. It just gets published out. So it's one button. You do it, you're done. So the page, the platform is pretty, customizable. You can theme it. You can do a bunch of different things to it. It's going back to what I said earlier about, publishing. You have what you call static pages, which can have dynamic content, but they're static. They're always there. You can also have what I call like blog posts. Basically, you put up a story. It becomes in the news column, and there's links, and you can get to it. The menu bars are all dynamic. So as we publish news, if you click the news column here, you get pretty much a rundown of all the different stories and news that we've published. When we publish our minutes, there's live content there. And most of it is really just click and drag. So minutes come in at a PDF, we just drag it into the page, and we publish it, and it goes out. Right. So it's there, and it gets published on, like I said, Facebook or Twitter the same way. So, and as I said earlier too, it's not limited to one publisher. It could be multiple editors. You can put checks and balances. You have someone let's say Colleen's hierarchy. You guys write something, publish it. She approves it, it gets published, or you just do direct publishing. It all depends, and the content can be restricted too. So, someone can publish to everything on the site, or you can have sections in the site. Like you could have a soccer section, so the soccer head would post stuff there. Baseball would post stuff there, and they would just be allowed to post stuff in their sections and not have it go anywhere. But like I said, there's not, the platform is well known. It's used by a fair amount of different organizations. And like I said, we switched over to it about 3 years ago or so, like I said. I'll show you this one here.
So as soon as we join in, you guys are going to switch again?
No. It took me, because of all the content we had in the old site, it took me almost 1.5 years to get everything over to it, because people would go back and look for something that was published 10 years ago. Like, how do you get that back, right? So I would not want to do it again, but it happens.
Now, I know in the site at our school, they've done things for us where they'd actually put a Google Doc, a live Google Doc there. So as we edited the Google Doc, people would see the live up, Yep. They wouldn't see us actually updating it, but as soon as it's done and saved.
Right.
It goes.
Basically, in Google Docs, you have a notion of your live doc you're editing, but then you have what you call the published version of it.
Mhm.
So once you finish editing, you publish it. That's a live link that could be embedded in the content, so it goes live.
Okay. And is that something that, because, I mean, my thought was if we could do something like that specifically for the groups, the basketball, baseball, softball, and just sort of that way they can sort of have almost like a flyer, and they can keep it updated when tryouts are, when their events are, comedy nights, things of that nature.
Mhm.
So people, registration information, schedules, if they want to put them up there.
Right.
And that way we don't have to worry about them constantly publishing stuff to the website and giving them access to it. It's just we're giving them access to one.
Yeah, you can reference
Document.
a document. So if they have a live document they're using, again, when you reached out originally, you said that you were looking at using Google Sites.
Right.
And the thing about Google Sites is that there's a lot of levels of permissions. And if you don't do it right, you don't get access to it, right? So you'll publish something and there'll be one piece of content it doesn't allow access to. So it's not a real good web platform, but it's a good collaboration platform. If you're all sharing it. I mean, I would suggest the reason why we use it in town is just for that, the committees to share documents and that kind of thing for meeting kind of content. But you could, like I said, you could create a document that's a format, it's a single page, whatever it is, and that when you publish it, there's what they call a public share link. That's the link you would embed in the page, and that's the link that will constantly update.
All right. So it would just be a link on the page. It wouldn't be.
They wouldn't say it would be in what they call an embedded. So whatever is on
Okay,
that
I
page
gotcha.
will show on that page,
kind of like the
right?
calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how the calendar actually works too. It's an embedded calendar.
Right.
So I mean, I can certainly help if you folks want to move over. The subscription to your current platform expires in January, I think, if I looked. So if you want to move over to this platform, give it a try. We can do it for a year and see if it works, right? If it still doesn't work out for you, there's not a lot of other different. There's not a lot of other platforms out there. Most of them are based on the same core. But if Colleen's saying it's limited, I think she'd be very happy with this platform. But she would have to probably kick the tires and kind of get through it a little bit. So,
What do you guys think? Any questions or?
No, it looks like it has all the utilities that we need for what we want to put up there. So I think it's a good way to go. We use WordPress at my organization, so it's a good platform I'm comfortable with. So it's pretty user friendly. So I don't think it would be a big lift for Colleen or any of us to get up to speed on it. Yeah.
And there's not a lot of content to move over. I mean, basically.
no, there isn't. It was just hard to format. That's all. Because there was some
Yeah,
format.
I think we'd be better off just starting from scratch and just sort of.
Now, do you have a theme for this? Because it'd be nice to have a consistent process and flow and look for all the different groups.
Yeah, so-
Is this a custom one that you?
So this is a theme. So there's a theme you can pick. I think it's like 100 themes you can try. So that theme becomes consistent across the whole site.
Yep.
Right. So it doesn't need to be the same as the town, obviously, or the PD, whatever like that. It could be the Rex theme. You select it, and it gives you the theme defines things like what your menus look like. Are they drop downs or not drop downs? If you have side widgets or you have other content assets, right? And there are themes that are like 3 columns in a page or something like this, where you have a main left justified page where all the widgets are on the right side, that kind of thing, and then vice versa. So there are quite a few themes available. That's one of the first things you have to do when you set up the site, right? So.
And does it translate well? Like, does it
It's-
reformat?
Yeah, it does adjust. It's mobile first in some cases, so it will down to your phone. So if I was to go to this site on my phone, it would be readable. You'd get the menu, you'd be able to drop down, slide around, and navigate fairly easily.
Okay.
So yeah,
Because you figure most people now.
yeah. If you look here,
have access to it.
so it'll show you. This is what it'll look like on a phone.
Oh, okay.
So your menu now would drop like this. You'd be able to go in here and browse through it. And everything adjusts. You just publish it once and it knows how to adjust it based on all that. If you have a tablet of some type, that's what it would look like on the tablet.
Nice.
And this, like I said, this site was what we put together for the original when we proposed the fire station with help with the architects. This was up and running within a day and a half from start to finish. So it is, like I said, it's pretty extensive and it's pretty common. Most folks know it. So And I've been carrying the budget for you, so you don't have to worry about the price of it. It's actually it's about the same price as the last site was too. So it's not any much more. Not for what you guys want to do anyway.
Great. So either I or Colleen will get in touch with you unless anybody else, and we'll just sort of get the ball rolling
Yeah, I mean, the site's there. It's just got to publish it up and then once you get your content and make it live, right? So Colleen or whoever wants to work on it can work in it. And once you're comfortable with it, we can flip the URL to be litchfield.rec.com like the rest of the other site and retire the other site. The only ask would be to get it done before next year. So we don't have to renew that site.
Yeah, no. I'd like to get it done by the end of the month so we can, once town hall, once the winter season comes, it gets a lot more hectic as far as what people are looking for and getting into talent hall and looking to see what the schedule is.
Yeah.
It's sort of picks up a lot. So it would be nice to have that up and running.
Yeah, like I said, you can embed the talent hall's calendar in here for that. You can have a quick link to it. You could also put a form in there to request access and build the form and then have it emailed to whoever like you do today, but it can just be off the site and it just comes to you all in one shot.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah. You can even probably embed if you've played around with Google Forms at all.
Yeah.
So you can embed a Google form also and then have it go back into your Google environment too. So
Okay.
again, there's a lot of things you can do with it. All right.
Right?
Yeah, just have Colleen reach out to whoever, and then I will permit the site, make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and then you guys can have access. I just got to have Colleen or whoever create an account for themselves, and they can get on it.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Andy, can I take us back to field requests again?
Yeah.
So requests, I think there was a request for a trunk or treat event.
That's right. Yeah, there was.
So that's one, looks like Sunday, the 27th. They're just looking for talent parking lot. From 11 a.m.
Bye, thank you. And have we I know we get the request every year. I don't think we ever really vote on it. It's not really something that we,
No, we usually have. We usually said they could have it because if we don't, I thought we have in the past.
but it's not something we reserve or set aside.
I think usually someone talks to softball to make sure that if they're there, they park on one side of the lot
In
and
pickleball.
yeah.
Is that different than the tailgate trick or treat?
Yeah, I think it's
It is. So
I
there's
think they
two
do that
different-
here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's
at
two.
night, and then this is for younger kids.
Gotcha.
During the day.
I was confused
I
because
was,
I,
I was
saw
yeah,
something
why
about
we have
that
two
the other
going
day
on.
on the WhatsApp page.
Yeah, so we can,
We're going to approve it, but just advise them it's a public parking lot. We can't really control the cars that are there.
Is anything going on that night or during that time frame? I thought I looked. I didn't see anything.
pickleball is usually in there on Sundays at,
I think 12:30,
yeah.
and they want 11 till noon, right?
My only concern too is if we get some rain before that, it's just a huge puddle out there.
Yeah, but again, they've been doing this for a few years,
Yeah.
so they're well aware of the risks and everything. I think we usually try to
I don't think
contact whoever's there and say, in the past I know we've definitely talked to softball before about can you park everyone on, make sure everyone parks on one side, they're going to be there, or when do you guys end? Now I don't know. I know where was it? I know there was somewhere we just got informed what they were doing for fall ball and whatever.
But I'm just, and maybe I should go back through the meeting minute notes for last year, but I don't think we really vote on it simply because they don't have insurance. It's not an authorized use of it because once we do that, it becomes a liability issue, right? unless it's something that we co-sponsor with them. But then again,
For
we're getting into our subcommittee issues where in order for it to be a subcommittee of us, we need to have it needs to be a committee formed with somebody on the commission being a member of that committee.
for a field request though, or for a park request, because we've had individuals like remember the adult softball league that was just pickup, they reserved field.
But they didn't reserve the field.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They asked us for use of the field on a certain night of the week.
But did they provide insurance?
No, it was just pickup. So we didn't sanction the event. We just reserved the field for them.
Right, but that's not something that we would vote on. In other words, there's a difference between allowing them to use it and making it an approved event through us.
Yeah, but when we approve field requests all the time, there we just say, yeah, you can have it, but we're not saying it's a
Right, but any
recognition.
group that we approve, they need to have an insurance binder with us. Like, we don't approve groups that don't have some type of insurance affiliated with that group. Because let's say somebody gets injured during the trunk or treat.
Mhm.
Okay, now it's going to be something that's handled by our insurance. So we have outside people that are holding an event that our insurance is going to be liable for. Again, it's a public parking lot. We're not going to say they can't use it. And again, we're not going to have the police go down there and section it off so that nobody can get in there while they're doing it. It's similar to the stargazing thing at night. We don't reserve that parking lot for them. We just tell them, contact soccer, make sure it's okay with them, just coordinate with them to make sure that the field is available, but it's not an approved facility request.
So it's like a use at your own risk sort of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically the facility and field requests are to say, I want use of this softball field, or I want use of this soccer field or talent hall, and it's yours. Nobody else can go in there. We can't do that with a parking lot. And
Or we can tell them our advice is feel free to use it. And that's it. I mean, I don't,
right. That's why I don't think we'd have to
yeah.
treat it as a field request.
I mean, we need to request that they don't use the Recreation Commission's name because that would imply that we are involved in it. And that's it really. I mean, they're free to do what they want in that parking lot.
Right.
So really, it's just informative, and we just need to let pickleball know to park on one side because there may be trick-or-treaters on the other side.
But I don't know. I mean, what time of day are they having it?
They're going to be there before.
Yeah, they'll be there before.
Yeah, 11 to
Yeah, I was
12.
gonna say, yeah.
Pickleball comes in at 12:30, so they
Yeah.
should be gone.
Oh, yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah.
It's
The parking lot is
yeah.
free at that.
It's softball who's there early, so
Softball's there earlier,
Sunday mornings.
before 11.
Yeah, I went back and I looked and it said they were there on Sunday mornings. I don't know if it's at a time, but
Okay.
Okay. So you want to just reply back to them and say, free to use the parking lot.
Yeah.
I can't reserve it off for you, but
Yeah, I think that's probably the best course of action.
Should they consider, where is the night trunk or treat happening here?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, every year we sort of make that connection, say, hey, and
Yeah, it might
they
be-
want to keep it separate.
Yeah.
They
They
wanna-
still, okay.
Yeah.
I know we've
The parking lot here
Had that
is-
conversation
every
a
year.
couple of years ago.
Yeah. Let's try to do this. No, we don't
Yeah.
want to.
I didn't realize it was a yearly event. My suggestion would be use this parking lot because it's bigger, cleaner, no potholes, if there's rain, it's not going to be mud.
All right. All right, next item on the new business, the 2020 budget committee, the budget committee meeting.
Ooh.
2020 budget committee meeting. So that's this Thursday night. I've got Troy contacted me yesterday. I'm gonna try and connect with him to go over a couple things. There's a couple things we wanted to try and add into the budget. Primarily the the poll for the slot, the slide at Dara. And something that came up after the facility walkthrough with Troy was the security lighting, the LED